Are my judges ready? This is Olivia, a sweet, loving, outgoing 4-year-old. Cystic fibrosis is found in more than 1 in approximately 3,500 Caucasians. And my sweet niece has just turned into a statistic. Good evening. My name is MaKenzie Eggert. Tonight I'm going to be talking to you about genetic testing and how it has improved the lives of many throughout the years and continues to assist in the diagnosis of children who might have a genetic disorder. When choosing a topic, I chose something close to home, and that something was my niece. My niece Olivia was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when she was 2 weeks old. Since then, she's had 1 hospital stay and is right now battling to get a feeding tube put in. She takes medicine on a daily basis and uses a vest to ensure that she stays healthy. What is genetic testing? Genetic testing is a medical test that identifies changes in genes, chromosomes, or proteins. There are many benefits to genetic testing, like being able to confirm or rule out if your child might have a genetic disorder like cystic fibrosis. The first genetic test I'm going to talk about is molecular testing. Molecular testing studies whole chromosomes or long lengths of DNA to find variations and mutations. Next is chromosomal testing. Chromosomal testing looks at short lengths of DNA, also to find variations and mutations. The last one is biochemical testing, and it looks at the activity or level of proteins. The most common genetic test that there is today is carrier testing. Carrier testing is used to determine if a child might have a genetic disorder. If the parent that is the carrier has the gene that might be passed on, they will be notified in the carrier testing. The next is prenatal testing. This is done while the child is in the womb and it looks at the fetus's genes and chromosomes to detect if they will have the gene mutation that their parent is a carrier of. Some people choose to terminate the pregnancy after they find out that that child might have a genetic disorder. If they don't choose to terminate the pregnancy, they will put their child through a newborn screening. Newborn screening is simply a heel-prick blood sample that is used to determine if that child has a disease like cystic fibrosis or Down syndrome. Not a lot of people know what cystic fibrosis is. Cystic fibrosis is a life-shortening autosomal recessive disease. It is when 2 carriers have a child, and that child has cystic fibrosis. When 2 sets of carriers have a child, there's a 1 in 4 chance that that child will have cystic fibrosis, a 1 in 2 chance that that child will be a carrier, and a 1 in 4 chance that that child will not have anything wrong with them at all. 25 years after being discovered, there is still no cure for cystic fibrosis. Instead, there are treatments to prolong or prevent the lungs from being damaged. For my product, I chose to do something fun and unusual, and that was a dodgeball tournament. I held it on February 17th, 2018 inside Mumford Gymnasium. I started registration at 9 a.m. and began the games at 10. I sold t-shirts before I hosted the tournament, which are showed right there. And then the day of, I sold beverages and snacks to raise a little more money. Registration was basically a waiver saying that if they broke anything or broke something on them, that I wasn't responsible, the school wasn't responsible. So that was basically registration. And then I had to make brackets, like once all the teams got there, because you can't make brackets before, because you don't know how many teams are going to show up. But I had 7 teams of 6, so my brackets got made by the team captain chose a number, and the number that they chose was place they got to play. For advertising my event, I put flyers all around the school, and I made flyers and put them around the school. And then I posted on Facebook. I made an event page on Facebook and I posted to it almost weekly to try to get people to sign up. I gave a $100 cash prize donation to the winning team, but the winning team donated it back to research. I raised $453 for cystic fibrosis research, and that goes to the researchers in Columbia, Missouri. I personally know them, and I have been to their meetings, and we go to their meetings every March, and I get to learn a little more about cystic fibrosis. So it was something close to me that I could ensure that went to the right place. I had many challenges, and one of them was finding people, because a lot of people don't want to spend their time on Saturday doing a fundraiser. So it took a long time to get some people, but I finally got them, and they enjoyed it. The biggest challenge I faced was probably planning the event, because I'd never planned something of this size, but it went well, and with hard work and determination, it got done. Olivia is one of the 30,000 people in the United States that live with cystic fibrosis. For you, you might breathe easy, but for Olivia, that breath that she just took, that is a gift. Thank you. Do my judges have any questions?
I have a question. You talked about the testing for birth, and also, if I understood correctly, you mentioned that there's not actually a cure for the disease at this time. So the benefits of testing, is it to just allow the parents to prepare for what challenges they will face, or
Basically,
what did you find there?
Yeah, my niece, my sister-in-law was tested. She was a first-time mom, so they asked her what kind of testing she wanted done, and she did all of it. So within all that testing, the carrier testing was done, and once they found out she was a carrier, my brother also was tested, and once they found out that they were both carriers, then they basically told my siblings that my niece would have cystic fibrosis. So they were like 99.9% sure that she would have it.
Oh, wow. So do you have an interest in the medical field and genetic testing?
I did, but I don't, not really. I mean, thank you.